Everybody here got water?
Everybody, we had 4 houses in this neighborhood that didn't flood.
Brian Blessing's house sits low in low country, Lafayette, Louisiana. But he usually has his head in the clouds.
It's every day and has been for 30 years. We watch weather basically 24/7.
A charter pilot by profession, Brian has a healthy respect for the weather.
Weather kills more pilots than probably anything.
But on Friday, August 12, 2016, the forecast he saw on his MyRadar app didn't give him much reason for concern.
I wasn't worried at all. They just said it was going to be a rain event. It was going to rain for a couple days. Some could be heavy. But nobody told us to stock up on water, batteries, all the typical things for a disaster.
Weather forecasters didn't see it coming. But with 2020 hindsight, the recipe for disaster seems obvious.
The combination of that tropical air, the fact that it didn't move, the fact that it pumped in all this rain over 2 days and it didn't move is what caused the epic flooding.
It started with a whimper, a steady but fairly light rain. The water was draining just fine, but as the evening wore on, the rain got heavier.
So by the time the sun went down on that first day, what was this like here?
All the streets were flooded, but only about an inch or two. And I had about an inch or two in my house, but everybody else's house was fine, and they're all coming to my house going, "Oh, we're so sorry you flooded."
And they're thinking they dodged the bullet.
They thought they dodged the bullet.
But he still wasn't too worried. In fact, he and his wife Susan tiptoed through the water in their house and went to bed at 10.
You stayed in the house. And then the next day, what happened?
Saturday comes.
Saturday
we get up, it's just a light rain. Most of the water in the house had gone out of the house. And then probably about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, the torrential downpour started coming for the whole day.
Was the rainfall more intense or longer lasting or a little bit of both?
It was both. Typically we have, fronts and pressures that come in, it rains, it may rain for 3 or 4 hours, but it eventually moves out. This never moved out. It just held here for 2 straight days.
Baton Rouge and surroundings got hammered, as much as 31 inches of rain. The floodwaters 12 feet deep in some places.
This was Louisiana's worst flooding since Hurricane Katrina. A lot of people had their homes destroyed, a lot of people were evacuated, and there were fatalities. In fact, 13 people died from this flooding event, which was forecasted to move in this area, but not this level of rain.
This is our house, day 2, Saturday, and we have about 8 to 10 inches of water in the house. We lost electricity. This is the bedroom. It's up to the bottom of the bed now.
As Saturday wore on, the Blessings moved to the bed of their pickup truck. Sitting in lawn chairs, the garage door open, watching a nightmare unfold. This is what they saw.
Standing right here, how much water would we be standing in?
It would have been, we got 18 inches in the house, so it would have been about here.
They heard the unmistakable sound of airboats in the distance. It was the Cajun Navy, Good Samaritans to the rescue. They assumed that was their ticket to safety.
When it started to get dark, about 7:30 at night, the airboat sound started to go away. And when you're used to hearing that for 12 hours, and then all of a sudden it starts getting quiet, you're like, nobody's come to get us. You get in survival mode real quick.
So in the waning hours of daylight, they made a run for it, worried they might get swept away, but desperate to find higher ground.
We couldn't live through the night like that because we didn't know anymore. We had 18 inches in our house. We didn't know.
This was a sneaky megastorm. It didn't meet the criteria for a tropical storm or hurricane. If it had, the National Hurricane Center would have mobilized its scientific, technological, and communication resources. It would have issued warnings or evacuation orders.
The fact that this didn't have the hallmark of a true tropical cyclone likely caught a lot of people off guard because they were not anticipating heavy rains that you would get with a tropical cyclone that is just filled with rain and tropical air.
No one was giving you a warning, get the heck out of here, right?
No, nobody said this was going to be a flood. They just said expect heavy rains for Friday and Saturday. But nobody expected what we got here.
But we all need to be ready for more of this. Climate change is making big rain events more common. Climate scientist Radley Horton is with Columbia University's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory.
As the atmosphere warms, evaporation gradually increases off the entire world ocean, essentially. Now, that rainfall, though, doesn't fall gradually over the entire planet. A lot of it comes out in these very heavy rain events.
Over the past 50 years, heavy rainfall events have increased in every region of the continental U.S. 5% in the Southwest, 71% in the Northeast. And as the climate changes, the high-altitude river of air that drives our weather, the jet stream, will move to the north.
As we think about what could happen in the future, we need to be open to the idea that the jet stream could shift in ways that lead to more stagnant weather events of the type that occurred during that Louisiana event.
And maybe it's high time for Low Country to think long and hard about how to plan and build its communities.
And with all the new rooftops and the subdivisions and everything, the water starts getting funneled into certain areas. And a lot of the municipalities and the parishes around Louisiana really haven't kept up with that and thought ahead as far as if we put 1,000 rooftops in this subdivision, where's all that rainwater going to go?
It's a question that grows more urgent as climate change brings more water to places already on the margins. For MyRadar, I'm Miles O'Brien in Lafayette, Louisiana.